the Six Invitational 2019 Team Empire versus Immortals. If you are just tuning in, we're going to be heading into Consulate. Let's take a look at the bands. Immortals has their pick first as an attacker.
So what do you think, personally, is the biggest thing to Consulate? What do you think is the crux of the entire map? What wins you Consulate?
Oftentimes I've seen it coming down to how well you're able to control or defend yellow stairs. That oftentimes seems to be the set piece for a lot of games. Very much we see, like, especially on, I think, a lot of basement takes and second floor takes, it really comes down to how well you're able to control that. And if not that, how well you're able to innovate around the map and come up with another option. I think a large part of the success or failure of teams, more so on attack than defense on this map, comes down to how well they're able to play that part of the site, or the map.
Yeah, I definitely think that yellow stairs is a huge part of this map. And that is the beauty of this map, is that there's so many other ways to get around as well. So you're like, okay, yellow really isn't working. Maybe we'll go over to server hatch and drop there, try and get a back take onto garage, so on and so forth. But yes, I would definitely agree with you that yellow is a massive part of this map.
There's a lot of options. It's more so that everybody oftentimes gravitates towards yellow stairs as the safe option, and sometimes we just don't see them ever innovating beyond that. And like I said, that's the real test of how well a team is able to innovate their strats, more so on attack, but to some degree defense as well. The band's coming out. Looks like Cabana, Glaz, Mira, and I missed the last one. We'll get that in just a sec as well. Getting taken out of the pool. Echo, that's the last one. So nothing too far out of the realm of normality here when it comes to the bands. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, a lot more straightforward than the last map. Yeah. But to be fair, that's pretty similar to another clubhouse map that we saw with two other teams earlier on in the day as well. So it seems like that's a bit of a trend, at least so far at this event. And we'll have to pay attention to that as we go further and further into the tournament.
Yeah, and just remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a duo stream day for Invite. So we also have the main channel going as well on twitch.tv/Rainbow6. If you guys want to use multi-Twitch to have both of those up at the same time, catch all the action happening from both matches, make sure to do that. There's so much Rainbow content, just like there's been all of January, leaking into February, of this new year, ringing in 2019 with a lot of Rainbow Six.
And as a bit of an update, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention to the main stream, we did end up seeing, spoiler alert, mute for a sec if you don't want to hear this, Space Station Gaming did end up taking down Rogue 2-0, and currently we're live with the Group C game, which is Mantis up against G2 on that stream right now.
Oh man, Rogue is definitely not going to be happy after that one.
Certainly not the case. It's an interesting match going on our main channel, though, as I believe it's the first time we've ever seen Mantis play at an international stage. And as a result of that, there's a lot of pressure on them, especially considering their opponent in that matchup. So it'll be an interesting one to watch.
Hey, do you guys know you're going to Invitational? Oh, yeah, awesome. Hey, do you know who your first match is? No, we don't. Oh, it's G2.
I've only seen this only last like 3 majors in a row.
Yeah, it's fine. Easy. Just win, forehead. Come on.
Just tap heads, click heads.
Just click heads. If you can click a link, you can click a head. That was fantastic. Thank you. Speaking of which, Bullet gonna knock Joystick off of trying to act like he's Spider-Man, and he's gonna fall off the building, as well as Shockwave is going to kill Cyber. So,
quick 1-for-1 as the action heats up relatively quickly inside of the admin office. Even though we are playing downstairs the first.
Oh man. This roam game right now, they have Maestro all the way upstairs trying to contest admin. And this is typically the side of the map that takes start at is admin. Everyone starts there, drones down. This map is very linear. You do top floor, you do middle floor, and then you do bottom floor. It's very, very simple, at least, you know, just saying it yeah. Simple, yeah. But that is typically how people do it, as you guys are seeing Empire follow suit.
But as we are seeing, Immortals are leading heavily into that top floor right now to maintain control. They have fallen back slightly, and this is what Shockwave is more so trying to counter out right now. He is trying to make sure that the pressure doesn't extend out towards the lobby, and more importantly, that he could hopefully pick up a kill or two from that position inside of the main doorway and start to limit the potential of Immortals a little bit more as they slowly start to drift towards the actual basement X here. Already down to about 1.5 minutes left as well here. So Empire are going to be stressed for time relatively soon, as they've had to spend a lot of it taking care of the second floor.
Yeah, and a very good roam game so far by Immortals. I honestly thought they'd have Shockwave play a little bit more aggressive down here, but they do have PX inside of the bathroom with, again, that M590 that he's been rocking basically this entire match so far on defense, on smoke, or mute. But I honestly thought they'd have Shockwave play a little bit more aggressive and just try and counteract Bullet dropping from hatch safely. But it seems to me that they are being very aggressive up here inside of Piano. Karzeka going to be able to find MK, and that is going to be the Maestro gone. And they are downstairs, so that can definitely play a massive death.
Karzeka still looking for more as he starts to move forward. The problem is they've lost Shockwave. The trades continue to very much just go in a 1-for-1 fashion. Karzeka picking up 1 for the Empire side, but Immortals nearly trading that back against them as we see Bullet nearly knocked out. It would be the first time we see a double kill come out for these guys. PX is there for another one-for-one trade to bring us down into a 2v2. Bullet defends his own turf inside of Piano, taking down Scyther, meaning everything is now on Karzeka. And then when he has control of the diffuser, safe position on the inside of Cafeteria to plant as well. With the lack of intel on these last two players that he more than likely is working with is going to make this post plant relatively difficult. We'll see how he does.
This is going to be truly terrifying for the defenders right here. Both of them pretty weak guns except for the shotgun that PX has. The SMG-11 have a little bit of a nerf. They added a little bit of damage to it and knocked the recoil down just a little bit. But there's going to be contention heavily as Bullet will take down Karzeka, and Bullet will hop on the defuse as the first round will go to Immortals unless somebody's keyboard turns completely off.
That would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would.
Yeah.
It really would. That's had to have happened.
I've seen it happen in other games. I've seen it happen in other games.
Oh man, could you imagine that? Just key breaks.
You want to look at the player that had that happen to him immediately after. You'll never see a more angry face in competitive gaming, basically.
Just holds his F key.
Like something that happens to you that's completely out of your control is the most tilting thing that could ever happen to you.
Oh man, I couldn't even imagine. Just your F key goes out, just can no longer diffuse. Has to quickly rebind it. Like
those mechanical keywords, man. Yeah. All keywords, they got a fail point eventually. But moving forward, of course, Karzeka trying to play that to the best of his own capability. He did play that right, and obviously without the intel on the last two players, he kind of needed to remain mobile to keep his chances alive. Just didn't really end up with the best odds in the first fight he took and got knocked out pretty quickly. So we're over to the second floor now. Basement to second floor is the way that we will see Immortals choose to take their defense.
So we will have Navis on dock. So we will be rocking the duo ACOG setup, which has kind of become a household thing inside of Pro League now. I mean, I know we love to talk about it in NA, but it's kind of become a very broad spectrum of people that really like and enjoy that setup. So Doc, more or less just a fragging defender with an ACOG. That's more or less what he's used for. He does have some decent utility. He's got a bulletproof camera as well as his syringe launcher that allows you to heal or overheal your teammates as well as yourself. But more or less, he is just used for that MP5 and that ACOG that you currently see Navi's rocking.
10 seconds remaining.
So just a few more seconds left before we have Empire out onto the board again. Nothing out of the ordinary here when it comes to the way Immortals are setting this up, but I am curious to see if they're going to play as aggressively as we were seeing in the last round with the big roam coming out on the second floor when they were playing the basement site last time. Even on the first floor, of course, the aggressive presence on Piano Room until the very end of the round where we finally saw the plant go off, and obviously they were forced downstairs. Looks like it's very much going to be just a focus on the second floor for the most part here, at least at the beginning of the round for Immortals, and the usual, of course, emphasis on admin to start.
Yeah, and you usually don't see that much aggression by a defense on admin just due to the fact is it's usually a death sentence. It really is, because there's so many cross angles from these windows that you can hold onto doors to where you basically have to dedicate your life. Yeah. Otherwise, there's nothing really you can do. This is all just a massive time waste, and eventually you will die. That's really what admin is for the defense. But they do have some very nice cross angles set up. As you see, Cyber actually is going to end up winning that gunfight against Karzeka. Joystick can immediately get a refrag, but he's immediately going to get taken out as well by Navis, as the defense is actually going to win the trades out on admin.
Just barely, though. Just barely. As Cyber sitting at a little over 25 HP. They do have the dock to support, so they can get him back up. A nice nade does a little bit of damage to Navis as well, but again, only 25 being knocked off. Overall chip damage being done very well across the board. Some great shots coming on from Scyther on the Dokkaebi. Is able to find the kill, finalizing the death of Cyber, bringing us down into a 3v3.
I like to see the Dokkaebi pick up as well. It's definitely going to help them out on execution with those logic bombs being so prominent, being able to vibrate everybody's phone so you have that noise to where you at least know a general consensus of where they are, which is very nice when you are going for that execute. Navi is going to be healing up Bullet before this last little bit of gunfight goes down between the two teams. They are doing a pretty good job of holding down this upstairs. They've more or less just shifted over to the one side of the map, as PX will hold down yellow stairs so nobody can rotate in behind them. They will have Navi and Bullets maintain frontal pressure.
And again, this is just a hard lock on these angles right now coming in from Immortals. They're not wanting to shift too much extra presence into an aggressive play due to how low the player count has already gone on both sides. Down to a 3v3, just under a minute. They know they've stressed Empire for time. And now it is time to play on just the site here. due to how low the clock has gotten. And so far, that plan has worked out very well. Empire has been unable to find a safe route to execute on. They do get a peek for a moment, but Shockwave misses his chance. Diffuser, however, going out, interrupts it for a moment as they manage to get control of the office, but Navi's nicely done. A double kill from him as he pushes to the inside, leaves Scyther all on his lonesome in a 1v3, only 30 seconds left. There's the first kill. He's got a good lock on to the second, but is unable to find his head. Bullet picks up the trade, and Immortals will find their second round.
Very good round by Immortals right there. Really able to play out their lives, and I definitely enjoyed the rotate by PX to yellow stairs, holding down that flank. Very smart rotation by them, especially playing those longer angles for that ACOG. They noticed that Empire was not wanting to get too aggressive. They were waiting for Immortals to overpeak, and it just never came. I got a little terrified when Doc started jiggle peeking the connector, but besides that, everything was okay. The main thing for Empire right now is just due to the fact that they're not finding too much success on their admin take. They're taking a very long time to get control of it, and Immortals is just having a heyday holding it down. Even when they're playing downstairs, they're holding admin, and is working for them very, very well until they are able to take admin or make an adjustment on what they're trying to take. I don't see them finding too much success.
We've actually gone to the lesser of the two chosen sites that are usually happen here. We're going to go on to the one, which again, you see this on a couple different maps, but it's oftentimes a little bit harder to play off of. It's when the site is split between two separate floors. These guys are going to end up going over towards now instead of playing on the other one, which obviously gives the attackers access to a site directly at the front door. It's not something Immortals wants to play off of, so they're instead going to go for the archive site.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, and this site is very, very unique in and of its making. Just due to the fact that it is a split site, we don't see those played too often. The one prominent one that everybody loves to talk about is Tower on Oregon, which is a split site that's played pretty often now, and it actually has a really good win rate. I believe it's like 72% on defensive win rate for that site. And that's just due to the fact that the teams that go there know how to defend it really, really well, and it's not, you know, too much in practice for the offense.
It's obviously a little bit more centralized too, to where you can get to both sites just with obviously the easy use of a staircase. This one is much more split up in the way that you gain access to it, usually basically having to put people on the first floor and then use the hatch to get back downstairs should the need arise for that. But obviously the actual staircase still a little bit further away from the site and takes much longer than the one on Oregon to fully rotate around.
It doesn't look like Immortals is going to have too much pressure on admin this time, but Empire still taking their leisurely time, trying to roam, trying to drone out everything to make sure no roamers are going to be too pesky for them once they start their take. This is the first minute will drop off right now, but Joystick is going to adjust himself downstairs towards the teller's area as he is looking for roamers, and he's going to find himself a cyber as the gunfight will commence. That phone is going off. Toxic Babe in line as well, and Cyber's gonna win it out. What a shot from the SMG-11 as he will take out Joystick with a very nice headshot. Scyther, though, gonna refrag onto Navi's. So it'll be basically an even trade, except you do no longer have a Nitro Cell in the hands of that Valkyrie.
Oh, so that's a pretty big piece of utility going away. For the newer players out there that might just be coming into Siege, just one of the more guaranteed ways that as a defender you're able to stop an attacker's access to a room or potentially even a plan or something like that due to the amount of damage it does. As long as it's positioned well, it's almost always an instant kill. Haven't seen a whole lot of them in this game so far. In fact, I don't think we've seen really any C4 kills just of yet, but we'll be sure to point those out when they do happen.
Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't seen too much Pulse on the defense just yet, and Pulse is such a prominent operator on console, especially with admin takes. You're able to read out how many people are going to be taken over on the admin side. I'm sorry, guys. There's just a sea of goo mines over here that they're currently walking into. As Karzeka will open the top of sight like a pop can, and PX going to go down, as well as Bullet found by Scyther, and this is going to open this site wide open for the offense.
Obviously, again, the Legion have been taken care of. Won't have to deal with his goo mines anymore. M King, though, makes a push up the stairs. Is able to find Scyther. Stays around for a little bit too long, though. Karzeka is available for the trade right by the hatch. Cyber is going to be completely blinded out by the Zofia pushes. And as a result of that, Karzeka will pick up the final kill as well. That's Empire now getting onto the board at 1-2 with Immortals still leading.
And as discussed earlier, it is so hard to try and switch between angles when you are concussed with Ella, Grismots, or those concussion mines by Zofia. They have the exact same effect. It slows down your sensitivity and completely takes away your vision, basically, initially. And it's very hard to win gunfights and adjust angles off of that. So that's exactly why you guys saw that little bit of action there with Karzeka on that Zofia.
And so we are going to head back over to the basement now for our next round. And for the players on Empire, it's yet another chance for them to bring this back at 2-1. 6-pick actually being used, something that we haven't seen a whole lot of in this series, to switch away from the Dokkaebi and over to the Capitao this time instead.
Not too bad of an idea on the basement site. Dokkaebi's still extremely prominent, just due to the fact that that logic bomb is so easy to execute off of. I mean, again, you get free info off of one button. You click it, she hacks everybody's phones, and there you go. But don't shake your head at the Capitao pick. He can definitely come up and be a fantastic op if needed, just due to the fact of those bolts being able to burn people out of those pesky little hiding places like you guys can see over there. Pipes, for instance.
Yeah, pipes. You can even, if you really need to as well, with Yellow Stairs access, you can use it to clear out the garage door if you're having trouble getting access to that. Since obviously Bandit didn't get banned on this map, so he's going to be a factor again. We're going to have electrocuted walls. No mute to accompany him, so obviously they're not going to have an overkill in the amount of pressure they can put on that garage door to start to stop it being breached. But again, they do still have PX on the smoke, and we saw how effective that was back on our last map.
Yeah, and I think that is the one main thing, is that I personally feel that there's no overdoing it on this particular site. With Garage Cafeteria, you really do want to just have a ton of denial for hard walls. I mean, if you can maintain that, it's such a big thing for that round. If the garage doesn't get open, you basically win. They have to do a back take on lockers, and that's an extremely difficult area to take from, just due to the fact of it only having 2 hallways.
Now we are going to see Cyber continue to hold these windows. Weaving back and forth right now. A little bit risky of a play style, but he locks right in on Joystick, taking him out of the fight before he even has a chance to figure out what's going on.
That was an insane gunfight right there. Not even really a gunfight, just more or less Cyber dancing back and forth and then taking Joystick's head off for him.
Cyber's taking charge of the situation,
Yeah, exactly.
where he's tired of waiting for the peek from Joystick. He just goes right for it. Shockwave is there for the trade, but it comes right back at him from Cyber yet again. Picks up his second kill in the round, another headshot. This time it's against Shockwave, putting his team at an advantage again in a 4v3.
Trades coming back and forth as Shock and Joy are both going to be off the board, but no Maestro. Biggest thing right now is that they do still have Na'Vi on the Bandit, which could definitely come up huge later on in this round. About halfway through the round now, as they are still focused on this roam game upstairs, but they have completely faltered off towards site. Oh, except I do believe one over inside of the CEO office. No, that'll be Scyther playing the windows.
And Karzeka is going to be able to leap in. Has to use a charge, of course, so that's not going to be available for the late round here. But again, it's Empire making much faster progress with being able to clear out the roaming presence from Immortals, which we were seeing an issue of in the first round when this was played out. Scyther, of course, will now group up with Karzeka. They'll be able to jump down to the inside of the piano room. When they do have a player holding, they manage to open up a perfect view onto him. But the metal bars get in the way, as they almost always do, and stop that kill from happening.
Offense right now trying to gain some pressure onto site, but to no avail, as those toxic babes will pop off on Yellow Stairs. Shepard almost shoots Scyther in the side of his head. That would have been very, very bad. Would have hated to commentate over that. But he is going to get the Bandit batteries off and get a Bandit in the process, as Navi's will fall down to the hands of Shepard with a very nice headshot. Scyther will get a little bit of toxic fumes inside of his lungs, but he's going to be able to live no matter what through that, only taking a small amount of damage. As Karzeka will continue to try and get this flank off. Scyther going to find one, but immediately refragged by Bullet. Shepard going to try and come up with a fish, but it's not going to happen. Bullet going to maintain his life. Back behind the yellow pillar, but PX going to go down to Karzeka, and he's got to worry about 2. No, Karzeka going to come up huge here, as he's going to win round number 4 for Team Empire.
Bringing it down to the wire again on Empire there, but Karzeka controls it, and of course they get that nice crossfire at the end to eliminate the final threat and pick up another round for them. A tie game now at 2-2. Both teams neck and neck currently.
What a smart rotation there by Karzeka as well. A late flank at the perfect time to pick up 2 kills. Very smart player right there. The initial thing right there was that roam clear by Empire was just not clean at all. Very, very punishing, losing 2 players very early. The kill on a joystick was the one that worried me the most, just due to the fact that he didn't trade off any damage or any information. He's like, hey, he's been an admin the whole time, and I'm dead. So it's, I mean, that's really it at the end of the day. So that's one thing that you don't want to see from those entry frags, when you have no information and you just get fragged out from a very obvious location, and there's plenty of places to rotate to. Basically, the only call right there is, hey, he's upstairs. That's really it.
Yeah, pretty much. So moving into our next site now, it is going to be the basement once again. Guys on Immortals are just going to reattempt that same site. They came very close to it. Had the last member of Immortals actually been hidden a little bit better, there's a chance he might have been able to run that to the timer. It didn't end up working out too well. Obviously got crunched with a 2-man push at the end there. Team Empire, of course, will be happy about this when they figure out about it again. They've slowly started getting better at clearing out the roamers with a better pace on Immortals' side there. So if they're once again able to make an improvement on that, the execute may finally come through for these guys and allow for a bit of a cleaner round this time.
It does seem like Immortals is going to stay on par with what they did last time on this site, which is put everybody and their brother upstairs and just try and maintain that pressure, which isn't a bad thing. If they can lock down the garage early, which they've been able to do consistently, and have your other ops upstairs to just try and keep all the pressure off of Piano, that's a great strat. That's fantastic. It's worked for them already. They're going to try and see if it can work again. It did not work too well last time. Oh my goodness! That's not a joystick, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mouse right there, as he just completely deletes that man right there.
Sorry.
Cyber's gone. Wow. Okay. You show a little bit of a pixel.
And he saw him move, and it was whack! Slapped him with a bullet.
Oh man, that was ridiculous. But what a way to clear the roam game. Definitely a way to clear the roam game.
Also, admin access.
Yeah.
Definitely not as hard as it was in the previous 3 rounds.
I think he just got a little heated after Cyber completely slammed him off that window.
Yeah, he wanted revenge right there, and he certainly got it. So not only have they gotten that kill, but a second has been picked up as well, bringing things down into a 5v3 already, just above the 2-minute mark as well. So Empire are in an amazing position right now, as long as a flanker, something of that nature, doesn't end up catching them off guard in the late game here.
The main thing right now is that they're going to want to try and just maintain the close pressure that you can have on site. So like Locker's hallway as well as the bottom of Yellow stairs, as long as they can contest those, they have a very good chance right now. They're only halfway through the round though, and that's what we talked about earlier on today about roam pressure. You don't want to die early on, you have to try and waste time. There is so much time for the offense to play with right now, and this is not looking good for Immortals at all. Empire has to mess up here for Immortals to win this round.
So we can already see the attempts to breach things open. Empire are pretty much already set up for their execute. We talked a lot about timing, and this time it's a very, very healthy execute that we should end up seeing from Empire here, with just over a minute remaining and already getting prepared to push down into the basement onto the sites. Empire have a lot of time to take things slowly on this execute, try to fish the players from Immortals out of positions one by one.
They will start their work on Yellow Stairs and Shockwave. Gonna pick up 2 easy headshots. Bullet and MK gonna fall by the wayside for him. And it's gonna be all left up to PX. An SMG-11 in a dream, apparently.
He gets 1 on Scyther as well, just tapping away at the stairs. However, it's Karzeka again that will finalize things with a quick trade back inside security.
Yeah, there is one main sort of mantra on Empire, especially over the Pro League season. It's if Joystick isn't doing the absolute best, Karzeka is right there to step into place. And he's definitely showing his prominence inside of the game right now, as he's just fragging out of his mind.
And this is very much seemingly Team Empire now taking the lead. It's been a very slow kind of tidal shift into their favor over these 5 rounds, but it very much seems like Empire has control of their attacking side. Now that could change going on to the second floor, of course. We'll have to find out on that. Once again, Immortals bringing pretty much the exact same lineup that they did to this site on the previous rounds. Not much of a change will be needed for them here. They came very close and have won on this site in the past.
Yeah, and a good keynote right now is that, if you guys did not know, all of the maps currently inside of Pro League are defender-sided. All of them. Which is a big deal, just due to the fact of how much utility the defense has right now and information that they can gain. It's very punishing for the offense, and they really don't have anything to counter it. The main thing about that is, with stuff like this, where it's currently 3-2 and we have Empire in the lead. If they're able to go 4-2 right now, they are absolutely in the driver's seat and are looking to take this match.
Especially considering that obviously the first two sites that they would go to would be second floor and basement, which are by far the easier sites on this map when you compare it to the other two. So they would, in theory, have a very easy way to carve right up to 6 rounds at the start of the half, and then it's just a matter of picking up one more out of like 4 or something like that for them. And that should be a very, very easy task for them to be able to shut things down and take a relatively quick 2-0, all things considered. Especially when you compare it to some of our other matches for today. But as usual, things will start off with a little bit of droning here. Joystick doing it for himself. Does get the spot onto one in the right corner that you can see the ping for now. Will choose not to engage at this point. He's going to hold back for a few seconds, and it's Cyber instead that finds the first kill for Immortals against Shockwave.
Cyber continuing to be aggressive inside of admin. Scyther will find one of his own as well. That's going to be Bullet. No more Nitrocell on the Valkyrie, but Chems are already up, so don't have to worry about those. As things are starting to barrel down on site. Joystick being his usual aggressive self, and he's going to find Navi's on such a shot, but no, MK going to find him from inside of the cafeteria area upstairs, a mini kitchen. As he's going to find 2, actually. Karzeka going to peek him from window. Can he go for 3? He's getting burnt out by Scyther's crossbow bolt, but to no avail. He's going to be knocked down quite a bit of health, and there is no Navi's to try and dock him back up.
Shepard will move in, quickly takes care of the camera at the front door, and the rest of the team following suit. I think Scythers might have to move in through the second floor first off. Shepard's going to do his best to support him, make sure he gets an easy access. There is another player from Immortals standing up here as well, still defending the second floor, which Scyther is now trying to fish out. No success in that so far, and of course Shepard now also has to deal with that evil eye looking in his direction here too.
Things have gotten so much more aggressive this round. I mean, 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and we already have 5 dead people. Like, yeah, that's completely changed up from the last map, and most of what we've seen this map is another crossbow bolt will try to knock out PX, but it's not going to do much damage. Shepard going to take a little bit of damage from the SMG-11, as another Toxic Babe is going to hit him. Do quite a bit of damage. It's going to knock him down to around 30 health. Scyther still trying to make something work on this bathroom window as he is going to swing in. 53 seconds left as the execute is going to start trying to go down by the offense. So he is going to knock a little bit of health off of PX, and actually it's going to be all left up to Scyther as Shepard is actually down on the yellow stairs. It's 1 man in a para versus 3. Seeing exactly what's going to happen with this one, as he's more or less locked down inside a bathroom right now.
He's hoping someone gets aggressive on Immortals and over peaks, but there's no reason for that to happen. Immortals have already shown us multiple times they're okay just sitting back and letting the timer run down on the clock. And that's pretty much exactly what all 3 of them are doing at this point. No reason for him to take a risk. He does see a foot, however, gets a kill as well. And he's got another one very, very heavily. In fact, I think outright down, yeah. He's only got 1 more to find, does get some damage against him. He's trying to finalize the kill from behind the big desk. Can't find it yet, nearly gets the second kill, but instead it's M-King that finishes things off. Eliminates Scyther, and Shepard, of course, just dying to finalize the round there. Gives it to Immortals as they push ahead once more.
That was a lot closer than initially thought out there for a second. I honestly thought that he was more or less just going to stay in the central office area and get punished from Connector, but no, actually ends up getting that flick. That is the one thing that has been so wild about this Empire squad, this entire Pro League, is how consistent they are across the board. Usually you have your outliers on your team where, you know, they are more or less the support player, they get the drones, they get the information, and your fraggers get the kills. On this squad, it's just everyone can gun. It does not matter who it is. They can be playing Thermite, they can be playing anything, but if it comes down to a clutch situation, it's winnable, which is just wild to me.
And that was kind of the worry, right, when they first entered Pro League, was like, it was only Joystick showing up, especially when you look at the DreamHack Winter stats, I think. It very much looked like it was Joystick and like 1 or 2 other players that were able to frag, but the others were still kind of missing a note or 2. And it seems like they improved that massively as they headed into the Pro League season, realized that that was an issue and really patched that up, made sure to, really to just make sure that all their players were capable fraggers. And as a result of that, you've just seen the power of that here in this matchup, and of course, through their very, very successful online season so far.
And Immortals have been doing fantastic as well. I mean, their presence inside of admin for that entire defensive set right there was baffling to me. You don't see that too often in NA.
Well, you do not, especially in the aggressive way that they were doing it too. Very, very straightforward, and oftentimes was the cause of delay for Empire that led to them either not having enough time to execute or just not even able to get close to it, as they would have been wiped out by the Immortals. But either way, it does end in an even situation, a 3-3 scoreline, as we've now switched sides. If you haven't noticed, Immortals are on attack, and Team Empire now take the mantle on defense. They'll start out with the basement. This time around, instead of going up to the second floor first, it'll be up to Immortals to breach.
Not a bad split on Consulate at all, 3-3. Not bad at all. So this is definitely winnable by both teams right now. Consulate is actually one of the most even maps out of the entire map pool right now. And actually, the weird thing is, the most even map in the entire map pool, and everyone's going to think I'm lying when I say this, it's Oregon. Did you know that? Oregon is the most even map out of all maps right now, attack to defense. It goes Oregon, Villa, Joystick gets a kill, and then it goes Consulate.
Makes sense, right? When you think about it, it's usually the most balanced map that ends up being like the more preferred among the majority of players, even when you talk about like casual games and stuff like that. So, and I think that rings true. I think I might be wrong on this, but I think a large majority of the casual player base also prefers Oregon as one of their more favorite maps.
It's not a bad map. It's just so played out. That's the main thing. Frag grenade trying to come in, and it's such a thing when Jaeger gets killed by a frag grenade, but that's not going to happen. He's going to die to bullets from Na'Vi pushing up admin stairs and catching him from behind.
Again, the second time though they've been able to really pinch out specifically Joystick in that situation. Of course, they still end up losing Cyber, so it really only leads into a 1-for-1. But Immortals has had like a very tactical way of dealing with him, and that's good because they knew that was going to be an issue coming in. So they definitely had to practice this a little bit in terms of how they were going to be dealing with knocking him and some of the more other aggressive players on Team Empire out in the early round.
We're going to see our first pulse here on consoles. Karzeka will be rocking that cardiac sensor currently inside of the electronics room, or excuse me, E-box. As more or less Pulse's job on this map, since his cardiac sensor can go through all the floors, is to just tell you exactly where the offenders are right now. So it's a very good piece of utility on this map that allows you to have instant information almost all the time.
Na'Vi's once again moving himself back outside of the yellow stairs to check. They've already gotten the garage open, so room for him to push in and more importantly take a bit of a duel here. Need to check the drone one more time before he goes and realizes that position probably wasn't the best. So a quick shift and we'll try to check things out. Again, same as before. This is a much, much healthier initial execute than we were seeing from Team Empire's own attacking side. They've already got access to the garage. They're only just now approaching that 30-second mark, which often is the death knell of attacking teams here. The Toxic Babes are going to start to roll on as a result of us passing the 30-second marker. And this will also mean Karzeka will start to rotate back. He finds a player, overcommits though, but Shockwave has success with a C4. Karzeka though is caught at the top of yellow stairs. Na'Vi's in the meanwhile finds another pickup. He's going to continue to push in, has opened up an opportunity for PX to go for a plant, and that should go uninterrupted unless the Toxic Babe stops it. No, it will not. The plant goes down, and M-King finds yet another kill. It's all down to Scyther in a 1 versus 3. Picks up the first, nearly gets traded from behind the bomb, but no, still stands tall, but not for long. M-King finally pushes down the yellow stairs to trade it back out, and it's Immortals that take their opening attacking round.
What a round from Immortals right there. That adjustment up top to be able to catch the roamer of Karzeka. What a beautiful play, being able to shut down that roam game very early on. And the Ash play as well, coming up of admin stairs, being able to punish Joystick for hanging around too long inside of admin. Really opened up the entire map for them, allowed them to do what they really needed to do, and what they wanted to do was win that round.
Up and so, this will take us over to the second floor. Now, the usual route of sites that we would follow as Empire will choose to move on instead of re-attempting that same site for a second time, as that option is open to them since they lost it.
Not a bad idea. I don't like salty runbacks. I'm not going to lie. I think if, you know, a site doesn't go the way that you want it to go, you should definitely try and make the adjustment to a different site.
Especially in such a one-sided affair like that. Like, it really didn't seem like Empire had much control over the site specifically at any point during the round. It might have been okay if their lurk upstairs had better impact, but ultimately that was countered out really well by the guys on Immortals. So they're going to choose not to mess with that, at least for now, and go up to the second floor. But hopefully they'll have better luck.
Yeah, and the main thing for this upstairs site is going to be admin. Admin is the biggest way to take this. We do see some people take yellow on this site, which, as you guys heard earlier, Blue and I discussing that yellow is basically the crux of this map. If you can maintain that on offense, you have a pretty good chance of winning whatever site they're trying to hold. And the big thing here is that the typical thing is they dedicate 2 or 3, sometimes 3 ADSs to yellow stairs, have someone play on it with a shotgun, and just hope for the best. And a lot of the times, it works out. The biggest way to get rid of that is have a Habana actually rappel up to the windows on the office and knock open the sidewall so you can maintain an angle when they try to rotate through the bathroom. But since Habana is banned, yellow is wide open.
Yep. And that leaves a lot more possibility for these teams now. So we will see the Immortals look to push themselves ahead. 3 rounds away now from being able to close out on this second map and tie us at a 1-1. Definitely would be keeping in the theme with the very close matchups that we have had, at least on the A stream so far today. I don't really know how the Mantis game has been going just yet, but other than that, we've definitely had some very intense matches. We've gone the distance, even though we've seen a 2-0 there.
I'm very interested to see what happens with that Mantis game. I'm very, very interested in that Mantis versus G2 game, just because we don't get to see too much APAC action. I mean, everybody knows Fnatic and Noah Rangu, but we don't really see too much of other teams. So definitely interested to see what happens in that. But,
ooh, I just checked on it.
What are we seeing?
It's in overtime right now.
It's in overtime?
It's in overtime.
First map?
Oh, it is on Clubhouse, to be fair. But,
okay.
But it is in overtime.
Hey, but I mean, that proves that Mantis is no slouch and they should be here.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Certainly the case. And that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in checking it out, is going on our alpha stream right now. Just go up to the URL browser, delete the Bravo from the link, and you should be good to go. Or if you're on mobile, just look for the other channel. It's probably the top of the directory for the game, and you should be able to find it pretty easily.
I would hope it's at the top. I would hope so. Yeah. It'd be very embarrassing if it wasn't. But Rome game working out pretty well for the defense right now, and as soon as I say that, Cyber's going to find Joystick. That's going to be the key to the castle to try and get onto site here, as they do have one more that they just saw rotate down Spiral. Cyber has plenty of bullets in this PDW to try and take this gunfight, but he's not going to find anything on the tailcoats of Shepard. As actually Karzeka's going to hop outside. He's going to find 2, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 3! As he's going to try and pick himself up, but Cyber's going to rotate outside. Karzeka, what a play by that absolute mad lad right there. Oh my goodness.
He had Diffuser down as well, which explains, well, partly why he's kind of stuck out there, and as well why he wanted to stick around and fight for additional kills instead of just running right back inside, since he had control of the Diffuser and could just waste a bit more time, which already done a fantastic job of here. We're down to already 30 seconds in the round. And it does not look like Immortals are very close to a plant situation anytime soon here.
I'm terrified for Shockwave right now in this position.
Cyber knows he's there.
Oh, nope. Is he gonna find him? I don't think he is. Okay, finally, my goodness. So, as most of you guys know, caliber-based destruction is the thing in this game, and you have to have a certain caliber of bullet to be able to go through certain objects. So, since the PDW shoots a 9mm, was not able to find any success with that. But Scyther will find some success with his Evilize. He will knock out MK, and Cyber gonna try and go absolutely massive right now, but nothing gonna come of it, as Team Empire will win defensive round upstairs in the office/meeting room area.
Obviously, they're Immortals more so than anything just being stressed for time because of the delays that were thrown at them. As a result, had to go for a very, very messy execute since they really don't have a choice, and it goes pretty much as you'd expect. Empire shut that down without too much of a problem. The traded rounds between these two teams will continue to go in a circle, and we will be locked at a tied game again now, 4-4.
Well, I won't say as expected, because the big thing there was Karzeka just coming off the top rope out the windows and picking up 2. It delayed so much time with that. If he would have gotten that kill on the Thatcher, that would have been...
Would have been it.
Oh my goodness.
Right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But besides that point, we are going back downstairs where they did not find too much success the last time. Cafeteria Garage selected for this one. No lobby just yet.
And of course, this is still given time for their IGL and coach to figure out what may or may not have gone wrong. The last time they played this, compared to just going right back into it for a second time. So hopefully they have better ideas about where they'd like to play this. But there's going to be a bit of a slight delay, folks, in getting into that round. Just give us a moment, as we did have a player disconnect. So it's just going to be a quick second while we figure out what the issue is and get him back into the game.
Actually, we just got a word from our production. Empire actually called time out. So
yeah,
they will start to discuss things and see exactly what they want to adjust to try and take this 2-0 instead of trying to drag this all the way to a map 3.
Absolutely the case. And they've got a chance to do that right here, right now. Just 3 more rounds away from the case of Empire for being able to close this down and push themselves into a winning position here to be able to take it 7-4 potentially, or maybe OT again, like I said, with how back and forth these rounds have been. And it's a good mix, too. We haven't necessarily seen a lot of one-sided rounds. We've had a few of those, at least when we look at the initial attack that we had from the Immortals. They did some fantastic work with being able to take control of the basement site without much of an issue whatsoever. We've also seen these really bare-knuckle brawls that just been trades back and forth all the way down to the bitter end into a 1v1. We're already back into the game, though, folks. The countdown has resumed. So let's get into it once again.
Pretty even so far. Rome game, actually a really, really big deal on this map so far. It was a big deal for Empire on Clubhouse. But, I mean, Immortals really shown on their roam game, at least on Consulate. Now, roam game so far for Empire hasn't been the best. They've had some absolutely crazy stuff that's happened with site players like Karzeka with the dock last round, so on and so forth. But the roam game really hasn't shown up, really hasn't come alive yet for them on this map. I expect that to change a little bit. I assume they're going to have Karzeka try and help out Joystick a little bit more here. Because right now what they're doing is they have Joystick play up inside of admin, and then they have Karzeka downstairs inside of server. And his main job is to find where they're going to try and push Joystick from. Now the main issue with that is that the last time Karzeka did not see, I believe it was Cyber rotating up the stairs as Ash last time. So got punished off of that just due to the fact of lack of information, and that really is what opened up that round for Immortals.
And with Immortals choosing to play that aggressively in a more loose style, it had them quite a few rounds. Empire was able to lock onto that though and bring it back towards the end of that half, and of course now they have the defensive position where we've seen, I think, a more straightforward styled to the way that they've been approaching their rounds, at least more so what you'd expect out of most teams when it comes to the way you play each of these sites.
Yeah, and Empire not really showing any roam game right now. More or less a turtle on site, just trying to maintain the bottom floor. And that could definitely punish them, just due to the fact that they do have bullets, as he does take out Joystick, on that soft destruction of the Buck. And the main thing with that is that Piano is such a prominent place to be. Karzeka will find Jackal, getting played by Navi's in the main lobby area. But that floor is non-destructible right there by the stairs, so he's not going to waste his nitro cell just yet. Does not want to try and waste any utility, as he will just maintain that information over here on the server side.
Information is very much the name of the game, at least when it comes to Empire right now and the way that they want to play their aggression, as you mentioned. Besides Joystick, who is already long and gone, they've very much just been focusing on the downstairs segment of the map. So Immortals, is now time for them to move into an execute position here. There's not really much else in the way of roaming going on here. Already got the garage door open too, so this, in theory, could be a very straightforward attack, but it seems like Immortals are running into some issues. Shockwave finding success and having to forward to finish it off, and Shepard with another lineup. Bye-bye, Cyber. As all of a sudden, we see Empire with a 4v3 lead.
I don't have a keyboard here. I can't press F. That was, oh my goodness. Wow. What a shot. That could definitely change up this entire round. I mean, honestly, I don't really know why Immortals opened up the garage this way either. Scythe are going to find one on the Navi's, but they opened up the garage just like in between panel 2 and 3. They didn't go panel 2 or panel 1 and 3, which is the typical way that you open up the garage. They just kind of threw it up and was like, all right, we're blowing the garage open. And that is what created that angle that you can hold from inside of the office so well. And that's just really rough. Oh my goodness, Karzeka goes for the aggressive play, but PX gonna change his life for him, as MK is going to try and find a kill through the metal bars, but it's gonna find no success. 18 seconds left on the clock, as the offense has to try and do something. PX getting hit by something. I have no idea even really what that was. Evil Eye from underneath the van. Thank you very much, Blue. As MK is going to try and get aggressive on the yellow stairs. PX going to move up as he is going to get lit up from the Evil Eye continuously, which will take him down. And Shepard going to find another one with the SMG-11. It's because he went down, and then Shepard picked up that kill. Yeah.
There you go. It's always nice to see that on the feed, though.
Yeah.
As I always love those very panicked pushes at the end where he's just like desperately spamming an Evil Eye or something. He's like, "Come on, die! Let me play."
It's always so great, man. It's always so great.
So, as expected, that push in the last seconds is going to fail miserably, and this will allow for Empire to push ahead with the lead this time, 5-4. And it really just came out of nowhere. It seemed like they weren't really going to be able to get much going, and that we'd have a pretty successful push from Immortals. But in fact, it was the opposite circumstance. And so now we go into a tactical timeout for the Immortals, as Empire sits only 2 more rounds away from closing down not only this map, but this series in 2-0 fashion.
We've had so many failures on executes today, which is definitely something that needs to be looked at both of these teams. Empire really not finding too much success on their executes. It was either more or less they got, okay, we got all the frags down, or we lost. They got like maybe 2 plants down the entire day, 2 or 3. That's about it.
Yeah.
So they just need to adjust to focusing more on the objective and not the frags. I feel like that's really punishing them a lot right now. And the main thing for Immortals is that they really haven't had information on site to work off of. Every single time that they get to site, they're like, okay, we got to face check everything. And that's not the way that you want to be. You want to be able to get those mutes off or whatever they're trying to deny your information with and find where people are playing on site. Because walking into a site blind is a death trap.
I definitely agree with the over-focus on kills, at least when it comes to Immortals here. I mean, we're not even seeing a whole lot of utility users trying to just force their way into a site. They always seem to need like a clean route to push before they want to take a risk. They don't really ever want to seem to try and like throw down a smoke and just push off of that or something. In fact, we've seen very little actual smokes used at all in this entire series so far. I don't know if that's because ADSs have been so impactful and we've just been seeing them get knocked out so often, or if they just haven't been using them, but smokes in general have been a very rare sight so far here.
Yeah, and the one thing is that Thatcher's not banned. And we really haven't seen a Thatcher pick
that's true
at all. And Thatcher's utility is the best utility on offense. I know a lot of people love to argue this point, but Thatcher has the best utility. He literally gets electronics for free. He literally drops a ball, and it kills all the electronics.
In the air.
It's easy. You get rid of lesions. You get rid of anything electronic. It's the easiest utility to use. It's extremely entry level, and we're not seeing any use of it right here. You can even execute off of it. It disables Yokais. It disables Evil Eyes, and we're not seeing any of it. Which that is the one thing that is just a tilt factor as a caster when I see that kind of stuff. Because it's like, why are you neglecting the utility that is Thatcher? He's just so good. We need to see more. I need more in my life.
Everybody still thinks it's map 1.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Everybody still thinks he's banned.
Yep. This X'd him out on a screen. They just took a magic marker and just X'd him out. Like, no more Thatcher. We're done. It's over.
It's a bug. We actually just add bans every map now. It's now just, it was 8 operators this map. We go to map 3, it's 12 operators.
Yeah, we get to pick, the casters get to pick bans now. So, yeah, that's what we do. But Joystick going to fall down the process. And Joystick has not been able to find much success on this roam game so far at all. He's been the entry frag for 3 rounds straight.
It's very much, it was a little bit better on attacking side, but I think for this map overall, Joystick just hasn't been finding the impact that he's normally known for here. Even just looking back on the first map, of course, we're not seeing anything close to the stuff he was doing back on Clubhouse here, so he's having a much harder time, and that is obviously lowering the effectiveness of Empire across the board quite a bit, but it seems like some of the other players have definitely been picking up the slack, and they're still in a leading position right now. It's just incredibly close, and Immortals could definitely kick themselves on and get back into this at any time as well.
Yeah, very close scoreline, 5-4 right now. Not 5v4, but it is a 5v4 anyways. So I wouldn't have been wrong either way. We're good. But Lobby is the site that they are going to be focusing their sights onto right now. Mostly an upstairs hold, as they're going to have Karseka in bathroom and immediately going to get fragged by Cyber, as he will try to clear out this roam game, but an immediate refrag by Shepard. There's been so many kills with the SMG-11 today, which has been very surprising. I personally am terrible with it, but Bullet's not terrible with the F2, as he will take down Shockwave inside of the flag hallway. Shepard all left alone upstairs inside of Connector.
The reason why the SMG-11 oftentimes comes off as hard to use is really because of the recoil, in my opinion. It has a very large kickback on it compared to some of the other weapons, and you might even see it if you pay attention to how quickly the point that the player is aiming at goes up when you shoot that gun. It's just way more aggressive than a lot of the other guns in the game, and as a result, it's harder to control. M-King, once again, find another pickup here as Empire just can't seem to get much going, sadly, on this round. The plant already coming down for PX as well. That should go down without much contention. In fact, they don't even need it. Bullet finishes off the round, and Immortals have themselves a very, very clean affair against Empire.
Immortals a much better info game on that round, being able to take the upstairs, identifying out how many people were roaming upstairs, and took it appropriately. Grabbed the yellow stairs, just like we said, very, very controversial piece of the map. We're able to maintain control out the whole time, push upstairs, take out all of those ops, get it down to 1. That's really where Immortals shined right there. Empire, on the other end of things, just, you cannot consistently take on 1 versus 1s consistently over and over and over again. It's a very bad thing to do. You have to have someone there to refrag you almost immediately. As we are going to see Bullet bring out the Blitz, give a little bit of a scare, but he's going to switch over to the French operator, Twitch.
Yep, so we'll see the Twitch come back in. We haven't seen a whole lot of, I think it's the first time we're actually going to see Bernalda out in this map. We saw a little bit of the usage of it back over.
We just saw it a little bit in the last round, actually.
Did we? Yes, my bad.
Oh, good.
Apologies.
Don't worry. It's just you and me here. There's nobody here.
Yeah.
Only like,
it's not like there's like 20,000 people watching.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. It's all good. It's all right.
But
I didn't hear that.
moving on from that, we once again are sat in a tied position between these two teams as the rounds just cannot stop going back and forth for some reason here. We are locked at 5-5 now, meaning we are looking at an incredibly likely scenario that we would end up in OT for the second map in a row, really testing the endurance of all 10 of these players here.
Yeah, really testing our endurance as well as you've been standing this entire time. Which hats off to you, because I've definitely been sitting.
So you got to cast, man.
I mean, you're just more into it. He's leaning on the desk, ladies and gentlemen. He's like, oh my goodness.
Just let your diaphragm breathe.
You gotta let your diaphragm breathe. Get the full effect. Get the full effect. I feel
It
you.
crunches it. It's harder to breathe. That's serious. That's science. Look it up.
I dropped out of college for this, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
You ever seen someone give a speech and sit down for it?
that's true. That is true.
Think about that.
Yeah, but do they stand for 4 hours? No. Okay.
Oh, no.
You ever seen a comedian stand for 4 hours?
Long speech.
Yeah. No. That is a long speech.
But moving forward, we do see the Immortals getting ready to start their push into the second story now. And try, of course, to play towards the sites, which are also in the second story this time, as Empire have gone back there. They've had generally a lot better success up here compared to some of the other sites. So there should be a chance for them to cut ahead again if things all go the way we've seen in the past. A lot of that, however, came from a crazy jump out that we had. I think it was from Karzeka on that previous round. So obviously we're not expecting that to reoccur, meaning Empire are going to have to play things a bit more standard.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if it's there, it's there. We learned that from Rec recently. If it gets you a kill, and the kill is probably going to be, influential on the round, he's going to hop the window. It's going to happen. It just, has to present itself, and they have to have that information. That's the main two things right there. As Cyber will start things off inside of Copy Room. They already do have vending control as well as Flag Hallway. That is mostly what you want when you are taking this site, and they're doing it with plenty of time on the clock. Immortals really picking up the pace on this round.
Yeah, Empire really not contesting over towards the admin offices much at all, except for I think the first couple of seconds so far. So we did see Immortals pretty much allowed to walk right in. We've got PX with the diffuser in hand, able to stop Joystick for a second time, or well, another time, I guess is more appropriate at this point, and really limit the potential of the defense as a result of that. Joystick being countered out, the other four just sitting on site waiting for a push. That's really the only thing that could delay Immortals at this point, but they, like you were saying, they still have a minute left. There's plenty of time to work off of this. Navi's, however, in the meantime, is going to go down. Are those both from Twitch drones as well? Oh, they're just resetting, so
yes,
they're going to get him back up.
He reset himself as well as his teammate.
Yeah, with the Twitch drone.
Always love to see it. Yeah, but actually, Joystick, that's going to be 4 times in a row he's been entry fragged. 4 times in a row. 4 rounds in a row he's been the entry frag, which has been ridiculous. Shockwave going to get impacted out from underneath, and MK is going to find him inside of the meeting room. Definitely setting up the offense for yet another win as Navis will find Karzeka. 5v2, 27 seconds left. Only 2 smoke grenades on Shepard as he will find Bullet. That will be the Twitch off the board. Scyther going to find one of his own. This still is winnable by the defense, and Shepard's going to find yet another one. 2v2 as they're evening the playing field. PX going to try and get aggressive, but no, MK and PX both going to find frags one after another, and it's going to be round number 6 for Immortals.
What a turnaround, and I think it's one of the first times we've seen Immortals or either team really pick up consecutive rounds in a row, so that is going to be able to push them ahead into a dominating position. Now, you can see really the size of relief coming from Immortals there, specifically their player in the middle, I believe is their IGL.
He's taking a deep breath after that one. He's like, let's go.
We're in a good spot now, right? Because obviously, as you would expect, Empire, they're not having the best of luck on baseman. Both the first floor sites are going to be somewhat hit or miss when it comes to playing them in general, so they don't really have a choice. They got to go back to the second floor. They got to go back to console meeting room for a second time. And if Immortals just do the same thing again, then they have a very easy way to shut down this map and send us over to our final map on Oregon.
Yeah, they do, and I think that the main adjustment that Empire is going to have to make here is just aggression. They're having Joystick be aggressive, but he has nobody to back him up. I think that this shift right here is going to be Karzeka over to the dock to try and help them out just a little bit. I think he's going to try and play off of Joystick and try and get this aggression to, really work this time around. Yeah. Because that's really, fighting fire with fire in this game isn't necessarily a bad thing if you do it correctly. You just have to play smart when you do it. If you are able to refrag things out, clear out the entry fraggers, and just make it down to the core set of offenders versus your core set of defenders, usually the defense wins in that scenario.
So you just saw there on the stats as well, the struggle that mainly Joystick has been having for Empire, down at 5 and 10 right now compared to some of his more dominant teammates who have 11 and 14 kills respectively. And with that, of course, there's no reason as to why Empire has not been anywhere near as dominant either on attack or defense comparatively to what we're seeing from Immortals. A lot of it has to come from the admin hold. Empire fell back without much contention at all happening towards that side. They tried to turtle in the site for a large portion of the round, and Immortals, well, almost lost to it due to the efforts from Shepard primarily, but thankfully weren't able to turn that back into their favor in the last round.
Yeah, it all came down to that last gunfight by both defenders. Just did not fall into their favor. But we are going to see Finka for the first time today, as one of our wonderful co-workers slash bosses slash he works for Ubisoft. Anyways, we have no idea how Finka got the scar on her face, and we got questioned about that. And I was like, I have no idea. We both thought it was a bear because she has the Russian sights, but she's not even from Russia. She's from the Ukraine, if I remember correctly.
Is it even a? I guess it's a scar. It's like one big scar. I'm trying to see it. It just looked like she had a bit of dirt across her face for a second there, to be honest. But
I know you guys couldn't see it, but Blue got really close to the monitor. He's just staring into Finka's
now,
face.
You know? Like, I didn't really notice it before, to be completely honest with you. It was just kind of there.
Just slipped and fell as a kid.
I didn't really think much of it.
Just ate barbed wire. That's what she did as a child.
Ate barbed wire. Wow.
Ate it. Dude, that's what you do in the Ukraine, right? I don't know.
What? I don't know. All right. So we are going to see a battle hole early on here. Navi's nearly losing his life to Joystick as he finally finds some success, I guess you could say, in not dying at least for the 5th time in a row.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, hey, he's made it past half the round, which is exactly what you want out of your roamer. He really hasn't been playing the time game. He's been playing for frags, and it's not working out. You can see the adjustment in his play. He's like, look, I don't want to take gunfights initially. I want to try and just show my presence, back up, waste time. And he's doing beautifully at that right now.
He's in the meanwhile is going to move up, but he gets caught by Shockwave in the meanwhile. And of course, he'll go right back to the inside, safely swirl away on the site. So finally some success for Empire, getting that early 5v4 advantage to play off of. Certainly limits the potential, but it's Cyber with a great pre-fire as he goes in through the door to find Karzeka and trade it back once again down to a 4v4. Now, of course, you've got Shockwave right on the other side. He's going to make an aggressive push, but it's caught as well by Cyber. Bullet also finding an impact kill of his own with the LMG on the Finka. And just like that, Empire down to only 2 players left, and Immortals in a 4v2 position. This is their opportunity to shut this game down right here and right now.
Is there any other way to play Finka? Finka LMG, ladies and gentlemen. Such a prominent thing due to the fact that her ability does take away recoil. And Joystick finally going to show a little bit of his face as he is going to be able to take out Zofia, but he has 0 health left. As Scyther will try and maintain pressure onto the site windows. Plant has not been started yet as he will get taken down from Flag Hallway. It's all left up to Joystick. 1 versus 2 situation. Almost 1 HP in a dream as he's going to try and win out another gunfight and he's going to down PX. They're playing paintball, ladies and gentlemen. 1 health on both of these operators right now, and he's got to try and get the diffuser down, and it's not going to happen. Joystick coming into the clutch when it's needed.
You remember what I said about Joystick in the last map? He can be hit or miss at times, but when he hits big.
I guess they never miss, huh?
All right, I wasn't going to go. I knew that someone was going to say that. If not you, the chat would.
Yeah.
I was hoping it wouldn't have been you.
It's probably just getting spammed right now. Dude,
slightly disappointed in you.
You know I embody the memes. Like, that's what I want Twitch chat. When I go back and watch the VOD, I just want to see the Twitch chat just memes. That's all I want. That's it.
But that's the thing with Joystick, right? Even when he's having a bad game, he can still pull out stuff like that, which single-handedly has just saved his team and brought them to overtime.
And here's the bad news about Joystick. Dude, oh my goodness. This man, if he catches any momentum at all, he just goes Super Saiyan. He's done. Like,
a snowball.
Yeah, he like immediately when that starts, it's just like, okay, don't peek Joystick because he's gonna remove your head for you. Like, and it does. He can be full sprint. He can be full sprint and sprint animation. You peek that man, he will probably win that gunfight. That is the danger of Joystick. He is the bottom of the leaderboard right now on his team, ladies and gentlemen. 7 and 10. But that is the power of impact frags.
Yep.
He ended up winning that round for his team, and he didn't even get the kill on the PX. He just downed him. That's all he had to do. He downed him, and the Ash was not safe to plant anymore. And that is what ended up knocking this into overtime. Very good play by Joystick, and what a way to come back from that. Him winning that kill on Spiral was insane. Absolutely insane.
I mean, he takes every fight with very smart confidence, too. He's not over-peaking, he's not over-committing to anything. He's making sure that he isolates the fight so that at most he's going up against 1 player at a time.
Yeah.
It's just a really smart way to handle that 1vx situation that he was in. And after, I think, what did you say, it was 4 rounds in a row, he died without getting any damage out, basically.
No, 4. That was
on the 5th, yeah. It was on the 5th where he finally finds some success and shows up out of nowhere with like a 3 or a 4K. So, really good stuff from him.
Which is ridiculous. But Immortals had a fantastic take. They really did. They got the pressure that they needed over on admin side. They got in the copy room. They're holding all the angles from vending, and then Joystick just comes up spiral stairs. And, you know, that is the one thing that you do not want to give people that are trying to clutch is those 1v1 situations. If they consistently take 1v1 gunfights every time they win a gunfight, they're just more confident in the next. And it just keeps snowballing and snowballing and snowballing to the point where they're more than likely going to clutch up the round. That's how those 2v5s happen, is everyone just runs through trying to get to site, angles get held, they get taken down, the defenders get more confident, and, you know, offense just falls by the wayside. It's just very punishing.
Empire choosing to go to the basement once again, which has been a very unsuccessful site for the most part for these guys on their defense. But it should be noted as well, once again, as a quick reminder of the format, as it is still the best of 3 in overtime, or first to 8, looking at the current scoreline. That does mean Immortals will need to win at least one more attacking round. That hasn't been too much of an issue for them, but it still should be noted.
Yeah, definitely should. And I think the main thing for them right now is they need to have some roam presence on this side. That's been the most difficult thing for them. They have Joystick over inside of server, so more than likely he's going to try and go for a late flank. But the main thing with that is the fact that they are going to have more than likely all 5 operators up unless something detrimental happens to the offense. So there's going to be somebody holding the flank, and that's mainly what you're going to have to worry about when Joystick tries to go for this flank. And actually, right now, they're drawing him out, and they have both of the hatches open. So they know that he's going to be back here more than likely. I believe he just saw him. Cyber's going to go up and try and confirm it.
He thought he saw him. He's not sure yet.
Yeah, he saw him through the server rack, and that's going to confirm it right there. They know exactly where Joystick is, as they are going to try and take him down inside of server, or at least isolate him back there by holding Locker's hallway. And he's actually going to find Cyber, as Cyber's going to drop down the back hatch. Navi's from the other side, though. Complete crunch onto Joystick, but he will trade out one.
So, once again, it is a 1-for-1 exchange that starts out the round, and the first of overtime. Shepard being absolutely stunned here on the inside of security as he tries to hold out, tries to stop the push. Once again, that very trusty SMG-11, or maybe the M590 instead. Doesn't have a lot of ammo left for that M590, though, so we'll have to see if he can make any success with it. 3 shells left to find some impact here. The drone does move in, gets a good amount of intel off. Not much of a ping, I don't think, but at the very minimum, they know the positions of these players now, and they know they're locked in. But time is low. Once again, Nade's going to move in. Karzek is able to easily move outside of that. Shockwave is able to pick up a kill. And meanwhile, the rest of the players from Immortals are trying desperately to push to the inside. Bullet finally gets a trade, but he no longer has time to plant. He's going for frags outright, and it's not going to work out. Team Empire holds the basement and picks up the first round of overtime. One more away from the win here.
Well, if there's a time to come alive, it's right now for Team Empire. Their defenses have not looked too hot, as they will take their first one outright, at least with a man advantage. So good on them. This is the time, if you're an Empire fan, that you want them to start heating up.
And so, with the sides switching, Immortals will choose to go up to the second floor for their one and only defensive round here. Empire struggling on this a little bit. They're very, very back and forth on their attacking side. It's also been a while since they've had to take the mantle on the attacking side, so we'll see what the success rate will look like for them. As expected, we've got Joystick going on to the Ash, and that's where a lot of the focus is going to be, as he's been very, very hit or miss so far this game. Don't say it.
I don't know what else to say. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, they will go for a full-on fragger setup, though. Joystick, Karzeka, and Scyther. The 3 men with some of the highest KOSTs on their team, all taking prominently fragger-heavy ops. Zofia, Ash, and IQ all brought out of the woodworks for this one, as well as Shockwave rocking a couple of those nades on the sledge, or the medieval buck, as I like to call him, with his mighty hammer. You know, they really need to make a Thor skin for him. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like a lightning hammer?
Yeah, like just make him just full-on Norse, just lightning hammer. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. We've been actually talking about that quite a bit, that like we need to just step up our skin game to where our skins are just insane. Not like we're like there's effects and stuff.
Yeah, well that would be the issue, right? Is if there's like stuff coming out of it, then it like might give away your position. And
just like sludge the wall and the wall just blows up.
Yeah,
just
gotta be a little careful with it. But anyway, once again, it's Empire on the attack here, looking to try and solidify into the round onto the second floor. Oftentimes the delay has come in here at admin office because Immortals have been playing so aggressively with their positioning on the inside of admin. Yeah, as you were mentioning, they've got 3 players, if not inside of the admin room, in the general vicinity of it, able to defend against what should be a push very soon from Empire here.
Yeah, and the main combative thing here has been Joystick versus Cyber on these angles on the window. it sets tone for the entire rest of the round. Joystick either wins and they finally get inside, or Shockwave nades out Cyber, and then they're able to get some pressure inside. What a toss, though, by Shockwave right there, all the way to the back corner. They were able to identify out off of some information on where he was, but Navi's going to find Scyther, and that's going to be a pretty decent refrag. As I would say so myself, the IQ off the board no longer will be able to detect anything that is going on through the floor.
Pepper didn't have an ADS for himself in that situation, but I guess he just assumed the nade wouldn't have been possible or something like that. So
it was funny when Jaeger dies.
Yeah, I was like, wait, where's the ADS? And I was like, oh wait, he was Jaeger. Where's the ADS? Like, the question's still there.
He doesn't even give himself an ADS.
I don't know if it got taken out at some point or if it just was never put down.
He just loves his team so much, he doesn't want to use this utility on them.
Very focused on the site defense.
Yes, exactly.
He knows he's sacrificing himself for the greater good. But this does obviously give Empire access to the inside. In addition to that, full access to the admin office, which they can now push through the main hallway by the long desk and hopefully into the site. But since it was a one-for-one trade, they don't necessarily have any free manpower to give away here for the sake of intel. They have to play this incredibly cautiously still, as they could very easily end up getting cut off, which would tie us up at 7-7.
Yeah, and the main thing you're going to want to be focusing on this take right now is Navi's and PX over near yellow stairs. They're leaving MK all alone over here inside of Connector. They do still have Bullet hiding around somewhere. I do believe he's actually trying to roam right now or get a late rotate off. Yes, he is downstairs inside of Piano. He's going to try and stop any plant inside of console, but he's actually going to get over inside of the default plant spot inside of meeting. Joystick going to find one. He's trying to cut off the bathroom rotate, and he will successfully do so. Navi's and PX both falling to the wayside for Joystick. Can Joystick find three? He flicks around. No, not going to be able to confirm MK, but the diffuser is down. Shepard going to find one. It's all left up to Bullet, ladies and gentlemen, as he's going to try and take the angle, but no, Karzeka going to shut him down, and that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Empire going to take it over Immortals 2-0.
They find the counter to the Jaeger in the corner of admin office, and it's truly just a simple grenade. And with that kill alone, the players on Empire gain a massive amount of access to the top floor and swiftly sweep through the second floor to be able to close out that final round. A 2-0 in overtime. Definitely had to work to get it to overtime to begin with, especially after Immortals were able to take charge right as we started the second half. But afterwards, they brought it back. They were able to take it in overtime, 2-0 there. And as a result, they win it 8-6, a 2-0 overall for them as well. They'll be pushing forward into the winners finals of their group. They'll face off against Space Station Gaming tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, and the main thing, especially for that last round right there, the